Okay, you're all set.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. After dozens of hours of City Council and mayoral budget meetings, we are finally coming down that long and winding road to our second to last meeting on our schedule. This evening is a public hearing for folks. We are via Zoom, so a few folks have signed up to speak. So I'll open the public hearing, but I will first ask Councilmember Cummings maybe to put the flag on the screen. And let's see who hasn't done it in a while. How about the mayor lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Wait for the flag.
Is that okay?
The flag is there? Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, Mayor. Thank you.
Council
All right.
President.
Yes,
Council President,
Councilmember Gully. Yes.
can I just note that the pledge sounded a lot better when we were all off of mute and saying it, so I would suggest that maybe we use that format in the future.
Absolutely. Whatever you'd like, Councilmember Gully, but the future, after January, we're going to be in person. We'll figure it out. Welcome, everyone, though, and we'll do a quick roll call. Councilmember Gully?
I'm here.
Councilmember Ash McPherson?
Present.
I thought you were going to say I'm not there. Councilmember Steele?
Present.
Thank you.
Present.
Councilmember Cummings?
Just right across the street. Also
Oh,
present.
and you signed in too. I'll do that. Councilmember McDermott, or Councilmember Zaluski.
Right across the table from you.
I almost
Here.
forgot him. Councilmember McDermott.
Here.
And Council President Mantello, I'm here. All seven are present. We're joined. We're here in City Hall. We have Mayor Madden with us, our Deputy Mayor Kuziewski, and Comptroller Petrowski. We also have our clerk across the hallway, Clerk Drogan. So, without further ado, we'll dive right into it. We have three folks who are here to speak. Mara, is the order the same as you sent?
Yes, and they're all logged in.
Awesome. Okay. I will get out of this and one sec. Here we go. Oops. Are you doing that? Okay. Awesome. All right. So first on the list, we have Bob Blackman. So we'll ask Bob to join us. Hi, Bob. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hi,
Can you
Bob. Thank you so much for joining us. You're with
Yeah.
the Tri-City Council and a few other folks from the administration and the mayor.
Okay. I'm sorry I'm having difficulty. I couldn't get in on my computer, so I'm on the phone. But I'm glad
Not
to be
a problem.
here. I appreciate being able to give you my input. I'm actually here this evening to speak on behalf of the Justice Center of Rensselaer County, and I'll be speaking in favor of the proposed budget and specifically the proposal to hire the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. First of all, I want to thank Mayor Madden for making the proposal. We think it's a great idea, and we recommend that you fully fund it at the proposed level of $65,000. The proposal comes at a critical and important time. As you know, we're in the early stages of police reform, and while racism is a subject that some wish to more or less avoid, it is nevertheless a fact of life and most urgently needs to be addressed. We have made good progress, such as the promotion of Sergeant Conyers to the rank of captain, and that's really wonderful. We're very pleased about that, but there remains a lot of work to be done. The PRRC report prepared in response to the executive order addresses this issue in recommendation number 7 and mentions the establishment of a committee. But a committee cannot do the task alone, in our opinion. What such a committee can do is serve in an important advisory capacity to the full-time director. Fortunately, Mayor Madden recognizes that there is a great need for the city workforce to reflect the racial and ethnic makeup of our community. It's my understanding that the fire department is 100% white, and our police department is nearly so. That simply should not be, and the professional director being proposed can lead us through the process of perhaps correcting that situation, as well as other issues that are related to race. In my career, I was an academic dean at 3 different universities. In that capacity, I recruited over 100 faculty and professional staff, all of whom had specialized qualifications and skills, as will the proposed director. I know from personal experience that success in hiring these kinds of people can only come from conducting national searches, and that requires a nationally competitive starting salary. Perhaps a salary of $65,000 seems a bit high, but actually it may be a bit low. Certainly, to offer the position at $50,000 or thereabouts, I'm confident it would not be competitive in the national market. I know you want to be fiscally responsible, and as a taxpayer, I really appreciate that. But this is such an important position. What would be terrible, a terrible waste of taxpayer dollars would be to set the salary so low that we have to hire someone who is marginally qualified later to learn that they can't really do the job. I'm confident that the mayor has done his homework. Surely he has spoken to mayors of other cities and understands the cost of hiring high caliber people. I'm confident that he didn't just propose a number that he pulled out of his hat. He gave it a lot of thought and scholarship, I'm sure. I'll close my remarks by saying that we must not pass this opportunity by. Again, this is a very important proposal. We have the opportunity to be a leader, to set an example, to show the world that Troy is a forward-thinking city, ready to address one of the most important issues that faces American society. Obviously, the Justice Center recommends adoption of the budget as proposed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for joining us this evening. And now we'll pass it along to our next speaker. Have a good night, Bob. All right. Next, who was that? We have Noreen McKee.
Noreen, you're on mute. Oh, there you go.
There we go. Hello, Noreen. Thank you for joining us. And you're with the City Council budget hearing. The City Council is here, the mayor and other members of the administration. So take it away, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me this evening. I too am going to speak in favor of the proposed budget, in particular in support of the position for the DEI director. I am speaking on behalf of the League of Women Voters of Rensselaer County, and I'm happy to support the position in the city of Troy at the proposed salary of $65,000. At the League, we have made it a point to bring diversity, equity, and inclusion into our own work as we strive for greater representation in our leadership and members from people of all colors, cultures, and persuasions to create a rich mosaic of the population that we represent in Rensselaer County. Having this position at the city level is a critical step in achieving this goal throughout our city, and we applaud this effort and urge you to fully fund this position without any reductions. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time that you've offered me tonight. Did you hear that? Okay.
Yes, they're on mute right now, Noreen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Noreen. We're not sure what happened. The light was green, but we were on mute. Thank you for joining us, and thank you again for your comments. Okay.
You were our host and you're having problems. so-
Was that,
Yeah,
okay. I was wondering, because
Yeah.
how come you were able?
and nothing came up.
I'm going to put up Renee Powell as the final person who signed up to speak.
Thank you, Mara.
Be Patrick back there, he might be screwed.
Yeah, messing with our public.
We can hear you guys when you speak in
Point
the
of
room.
order.
You're not on mute
Can you
right
mute
now.
your-
Thank you.
Good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, Renee. You're with the final budget hearing here on, there you are, hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. So, yeah, this is a little unconventional. Councilmember Zaluski and I have joined the conference room here with the mayor and others. Thank you for joining us here in the final budget hearing, and take it away. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I'd like to say good evening to all of you. And I am pleased to have this opportunity to speak to you on the proposed capital budget for the city of Troy. And I specifically appreciate the opportunity to speak on the item related to the position of Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Having a Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the city of Troy is essential, given the changing demographics of the city and the socioeconomics of women and people of color. I am pleased that the Office of the Mayor and the Council understand and appreciate the role that a Director of Diversity and Equity and Inclusion can play in creating a culture, equity, and fairness among its constituents. There appears to be issues related to the reporting of the position and the recommended salary. I listened to the session that you guys had last night, and I just want to address a couple of the issues that came up. And it is the opinion of the Troy branch of the NAACP that the position of the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion should report to the mayor as an at-will employee, given the flexibility required, the scope of the work that the incumbent is required to perform for the citizens of Troy, and the commensurate compensation. During a discussion at the budget workshop that was held last night, there was talk of training people in HR to serve as diversity and inclusion officers, if I'm not mistaken. And in our opinion, this approach will not be effective. And as a matter of fact, we consider it a conflict of interest. A diversity of inclusion and is not just about HR. It involves the entire system. So this position needs to be at a location that is closely working with the mayor, because the position is there to serve the people of Troy. In addition, the salary of $65,000 in the proposed budget is below the market compensation range for that position. On the low end, the compensation for that position is $95,000. I know that's a bit high. And now in the discussions, it was suggested that the salary be dropped to $50,000. The proposed salary is not enough for the scope of the work for this position. And to drop the salary to $50,000 is woefully negligent and would be an insult to all that are in need of the results from this position and the results that this position can initiate. The city of Troy has been granted great opportunities recently, phenomenal opportunities, great funding coming in. So the structural growth and development of Troy is on its way. And now it is time to invest in the people, to grow the people and develop the people and have them prepared and ready for these new opportunities that are on the horizon for Troy. We want our people to be ready to take advantage of what you all are working to provide for us. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Renee. We appreciate you joining us and appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, that concludes our speakers this evening. I will take a motion to adjourn.
In person.
All right.
Motion that we adjourn.
Motion, Council Members Zaluski, is there a second?
Absolutely second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. Before we adjourn on the discussion, we have one more meeting. We have a finance that will be scheduled for Tuesday evening. The finance meeting will be scheduled for 5:30. We know that the meeting will go longer than 6 o'clock, and 6 o'clock is our scheduled special meeting. So we'll just have that meeting immediately following the finance meeting. So your agendas are being completed as we speak, if they haven't been sent already. And Councilman,
You should all have them.
awesome, just went out. So take a look at it. We'll review, obviously, our various caucuses. And Councilmember Ash McPherson, yours will be delivered the traditional way. No? You pick it up?
I already spoke to Mara. I'm picking it up in the morning. She'll leave it there. Save her the trip.
Very good. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Okay. Before we adjourn, yes, on the discussion.
Mr. President,
Yes, Councilmember Cummings.
I do see right at the end there, someone raised their hand in the attendee. I don't know if you were aware of that or if, I know you're.
No, I don't get to see that. Who is?
Donna Taylor, someone named Donna Taylor.
Okay, Donna, I definitely would love to hear what you have. Mara, do you mind bringing Donna in before we adjourn?
Sure. Yeah, she had
Awesome.
registered but stated she didn't want to speak. That's why I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Put her in. We'll put her in. Here she is.
See, I can't see that. Sure, thank you. Hi, Donna, thank you so much for joining us.
He is muted, I think.
You are on mute.
Now can you hear me?
Okay, we sure can. Thank you, Donna, for joining us. Donna, I am just going to ask for the record, you know, where you live. You don't have to say the specific address, but just so we know where you live would be nice.
I'm in 109th Street, Lansingburg.
Hello?
This is my first time. Well, I've spoke years ago in front of some meetings, but you know, I was listening to everybody's input on the director of diverse. You might want to come up with a title that's just a little easier for you guys to pronounce because you're all stumbling on it. But anyway, you know, from a layman street person, I'm going to share a little bit of what I see around here and how I see some of these positions and taxes that you're going to put on people truly may not be necessary. I mean, I look around Lansingburg and Troy in general, the lower ends, we'll call it, you know. I see a lot of minorities, which is great, young minorities, fixing up all these little tiny houses in Lansingburg and down into South Central and, you know, different places. And I'm just concerned that, you know, the position seems okay, but I kind of go with the aspect of the human resources in their job. And I'm just wondering, most people, and I might be off base, but when they come into some of these jobs in the city, are they taking like civil service exams and they're qualified for positions anyway, correct? Or not always?
Donna, this is not like a Q&A, and I'd love to talk to you offline. This is your time to talk to us, so, you know, we'll take your questions and talk to you offline. If you could leave Mara, hopefully Mara has your phone number. I'd be happy to call you, but we'd love to hear what's on your mind, but it's not a Q&A.
Okay, I won't ask any questions. But what I'm saying is basically,
You can ask questions. I'll get back to you after.
pretty good mix going on here. It's great. It's wonderful. I have so many different ethnicities in my family. We don't even know what to call ourselves except back to the old melting pot. So when I see some of these new positions being created, and then, you know, other things that I thought you were going to discuss on this meeting, but never did, I can't help but wonder if, you know, like all these new assessments, these new positions, if they're going to indeed raise our taxes. And these people that are trying to make Lansingburg and or Troy better are kind of getting squeezed out of the market, because once they buy these places and you guys keep raising the taxes, they're not going to be in any different position than we, the exiting working class, are, because most of us have been forced to early retirement. We're the ones that are really supporting a lot of these communities, or have been. We're disappearing. And we're not going to be able to keep up with the taxes. So we want these younger people to succeed. We only want to spend money where it's needed for improvements, not just creating jobs. If you help these people have these places to live, they'll apply for these jobs in town. You will create a source to pull your own diversity from. It can't always be this group and this group and this group. You know, it should be for everybody. So anyway, that's just the street talk, and I thank you guys for listening.
Donna, thank you so much, and feel free to contact me offline. I'd love to talk to you and any of the other council members. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your comments.
I did just email you her registration information, so it does have her contact information in there. I sent it to the whole council.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mara. Any other speakers, Mara?
No one else has signed in.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Our final meeting is next Tuesday, so please sign up by Tuesday at 3 o'clock for anyone that would like to talk about the budget, and the agenda will be online if it's not online already. We thank you for joining us, and have a great night. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right.